So, you want me to start from the beginning? I'm End Of Gunk. I've been playing draft for almost a decade now. I had to prepare for yet another finals, but this one was unlike any other. I have to fight who? I've personally never liked stall in draft. I always thought of it as just not being as good in this format as it is in, regular play. So I look up to my opponent a great deal because of this. In my opinion, it takes real skill to make stall work in draft. And who has been making it work? I usually never muck with anyone, but even if I did, I knew nobody could pilot that team properly, only who could do it. This is going to be the hardest battle I've ever played. Right from the beginning, I knew my building had to be reworked. To play against stall, I needed to go with balance. Offense will crumble in front of stall, and I clearly can't just outstall him. My first pick was Chimeco, as a way to get rid of status as well as stop the opponents from healing. With Breach Protect, I can also heal up my other team member. There is a problem. Gothorita trapping Chimeco will mean I lose on the spot, so I opted for Chet Shell. Gothorita was a problem because another one of my key pieces is going to be, Klefki. I knew going into this that if Goth can pick up Klefki, I'll lose to Scyther. Klefki's tailor-made for Scyther, so it will be easy for him to just U-turn into Goth and remove Klefki. I can never let Klefki be trapped. I can't go against stall without removal. I had two options, Morpeko or Drifloon. I opted for Morpeko since I want my own spikes, plus Drifloon has a better use here. Drifloon was tailor-made to take a +2 dual win beat from Scyther. I battled myself like 10 times to make sure my spread could always take the first dual win beat and activate Citrus Berry. Who doesn't have a flying resist? So Drifloon being able to exploit that weakness as well as spread status and remove items is crucial. Palosan is a mon that I wasn't sure of. Ishar looked great, and my opponent doesn't have a switch into EQ, to be honest. I figured the best set to bring here will be Rest and Sleep Talk, so I can deal with status, as I fully expect Spiritomb to come in. And lastly, the mon I thought that would win on the spot. This Golduck set is meant to 6-0 Who. Surf and Psychic Noise hit everything. And not only that, but it prevents my opponent from healing, so he can't just sit there and stall Golduck. I noticed his best way of dealing with this set is having a Terra Slacking KO me with Terra Stellar. This is why I have Protect, that way Slacking can never beat Golduck. I know he's going to bring Slacking. There's a lot of preparation going into this. I just hope that I can play the best I can. From the beginning, I'm already thrown off because there's a lot of mons here that I expected and they didn't show up, mainly Spiritomb and Wigglytuff. The idea was to lead Golduck, but I decided to lead with Drifloon because it's the only mon that cannot be trapped other than my Chimeco, and I am expecting Gothorita to lead here, trying to catch a Klefki lead, and I cannot let that happen. Instead, he leads with Quillfish. I can see that it's Air Balloon. This is good information for Palosan, but either way, I'm going to switch into Morpeko because I don't want to get toxic right off the bat. He double switches. When I see the Crocodile come in, I know that I have a free knockoff here. Nothing wants to get their item knocked off. Here I now have to switch, so I go into Drifloon expecting something like a knockoff or a U-turn, and he does go for U-turn. But he decides to go into Crocodile, and that's going to be perfect for me because I can just knock off as he does stay in for the knockoff, just to burn my Drifloon. I switch back into Golduck so that I can take a Flamethrower, and now from this position I can start setting up. I know that Slacking's going to come in, but I want to see what the Slacking can do against me. I am going to click Protect because this should deal with the Slacking. But unfortunately he reveals to be Roar Slacking. Drifloon comes in, Because this is a free turn, I'm just going to go back into Golduck. Crocalor comes back, which gives me a free Surf. Now that it doesn't have an Eviolite, it can potentially even die. Scyther tries to catch me on a Nasty Plot, but I am able to do up to half with my Golduck. The designated switching was going to be the Drifloon, but for whatever reason, probably because I was nervous, I chose to go into Klefki. And just like that, I made a fatal mistake. Every bit of progress that I made was now out of the window. This play could potentially cost me the entire game. The worst part is that I went for Thunder Wave instead of getting Spikes. I think I was so nervous that I thought maybe if I get a Thunder Wave Aura into full Paralyze, I could maybe get extra turns. But I should have gone for Spikes so that I can actually make some progress here. The truth is, this was a horrible play, and I can potentially lose the game because of this. I have only myself to blame because I knew this was his strategy, I knew that this is what was going to happen, and even though I prepared against it, I didn't play for it. From this point forward, this is a struggle for survival. I go into Morpeko, and then I try to do a double. I'm so nervous that I'm already losing my mind thinking that I can switch on Shadow Tag. So I just let him go into the Decidueye, I get some damage on it, it actually doesn't do anything. So here I obviously have to go into Drifloon. He does not go for knockoff, but he does get the momentum and in comes Scyther. From this amount of HP, I know that I can take a hit, but he actually just goes for a U-turn. In comes Crocalor. I do get some HP back, not a lot. I switch back into Chimecho because I like to hopefully heal up one of my Pokemon. I decide to go for Psychic Noise though, so that I can keep this at bay. And next turn I do go for Wish so that I can hopefully try to heal Drifloon or my Golduck. With Gothorita, I'm not sure if he knows that I'm Shed Shell yet, but I just go for Protect, trying to scout what he wants to do. He does go into Slacking though, which kind of throws me off, but here I can just Protect again to see what he wants to do. He goes for T-Wave, and because this is a free switch, I'm just going to Heal Bell. On this turn, he probably thinks I'm trapped, so I'm going to go into my Morpeko again. He goes for Rest, probably thinking that I'm trapped and that he can stall me out. Once again, I try to do a double. I think I'm losing my mind at this point of the battle. I have to lock in. I am able to kill this, probably because he realizes that he can't do anything in this battle. Which gives him a free switching into the Decidueye. I of course have to switch out. Hopefully he doesn't knock off. He doesn't knock off again. But because he didn't knock off, in comes Scyther to claim a kill. I stay once again because I don't think he's going to go for the dual Wind Beat just yet. He's just trying to put me in range of it, so I just go for his Air Slash. And that's gonna force him to heal, so I'm just gonna go into my Chimecho and try to Wish one of my Pokemon. He goes for Roar, and in comes the Golduck, which is probably best case scenario. From this point, I'm just going to Surf because I think he's going to realize that Golduck is really annoying against him, so he might just want to give up the Crocalor. He goes into Slacking though, and he's going to take a Surf. He revealed Roar earlier, but I'm still going to Protect just in case. He actually goes for Roar, so in comes another Pokemon on my side. Chimecho comes back in. I like to Psychic Noise, so whatever that comes in is locked into not being able to heal. And I try to heal myself or one of my other mons. Unfortunately, Roar pulls more Pico out, which is a physical attacker, and even though there's no Eviolite, I can't kill this just yet, so I'm gonna have to switch back into Chimecho. I take a Will-O-Wisp, which is fine because I am Heal Bell, so from here I'm just going to go back into my Golduck. This time I just go for Psychic Noise, trying to predict either a Quillfish or the Decidueye. I protect, he does attack this time, so now I am able to do something with Golduck. As I'm going to Psychic Noise, and from this point I think I'm just going to Surf because, yeah, he's probably going to give up the Crocalor. The problem with this is that now Scyther comes in and he probably gets a kill. I don't have Klefki anymore, so I'm gonna have to go into Paloswine, and looks like this Scyther is most likely Choice Band. It was hard for me to tell because I was nervous, and also because Dual Wind Beat is a 2-hit move, so you don't really know. Like, one could be max damage or the other one couldn't be, so I'm just going to switch back into Chimecho here on the Quillfish. He goes for Taunt, I'm not sure why, but I am able to get a Psychic Noise, doing a pretty good chunk, and also I'm going to pop the Air Balloon, so now there's nothing that wants to take an Earthquake. He Flip turns out, and he comes Slacking, probably because he's just tired of this Chimecho and he wants to kill it some way or another. I do Psychic Noise it so he can slack off if he has it. And here I'm just going to switch out. He switches out as well into the Decidueye, and I just get a free damage with Aura Wheel. I switch back out, this time into Drifloon, trying to get closer to that Citrus Berry so that I can win. I was predicting him to try to roost there because he was getting very weakened, but he just U-turns, and in comes Scyther trying to get a kill, and he is going to claim the kill on Chimecho because I figured out of all of my members, Chimecho was the one that was a little more lackluster. I go into Paloswine here, trying to threaten with an Ice Shard, and I am going to click it because I thought that if I don't, I probably lose the game, as he actually goes into Quillfish. But from this point on, I think it's time I activate my Drifloon. From this point, I can go into Drifloon so I can activate my Citrus Berry. This makes me faster than every mon in the team. He Flip turns out. I'm expecting Slacking so that he can Roar out and cancel out my Unburden, but I'm just going to get a burn. This guarantees that Golduck as well as Morpeko can switch into it with no problem. He does go for Thunder Wave, which gives me a free turn. I'm going to use this turn to hopefully heal up to full. He goes into Quillfish trying to sack, but I am able to heal on it and then I kill it the next turn. From this point, it looks like Drifloon can potentially win the game. Scyther can kill me from full, so I'm just going to get crit. And suddenly, a mon that could potentially win the game is out of the board. This puts me in the back significantly, as I don't even think I can win the game anymore. I go into Paloswine and I go for Earthquake, predicting him to switch out. But at this point it might be too late. I do get the damage on Slacking, but it just happens to be a Citrus Berry Slacking. I go into Golduck because I know there's nothing he can do other than T-Wave, but he probably won't T-Wave this turn. From this position, I can potentially get a kill with Psychic Noise, but I am running out of time. This is actually making me really frustrated and it's stressing me out, so I'm actually picking my moves a little too quick and I'm starting to lose my mind. In Scyther, going to claim a kill, and I end up making a play that guarantees me the loss because I let Scyther kill Golduck. The play here was to let Morpeko die, because now I would have been able to go into Paloswine and go for Ice Shard. The reason I need Golduck alive is because Morpeko and Paloswine can beat the Decidueye Hisui. Because as you can see, Ice Shard is not gonna do enough and he can just Roost stall me. The timer of the battle is about to end, so I am going to win the battle. The problem is I don't actually win the battle because the Decidueye is just going to stall me out. And that's how, once again, I lose a finals because I am my own enemy. Because I am very bad at this game. And because even though I made it to the end, I always drop the ball. And this is going to be just another league that I lost. GG's to who? This was a very good battle. I had so much fun preparing for this as well as playing. It might not seem like it, but I actually had fun because it just felt like a puzzle and I didn't solve it. I didn't do very good, I don't think, but it was fun. At the end, you're trying to have fun. That being said, I am extremely disappointed on myself because I think the way I'm doing this video is probably the best way I can break down like mistakes and stuff. I make so many mistakes. Like, this might be one of the worst battles I've played, like one of the worst anything, but I guess at least I can see it. I'm just really tired of losing at the end. Like, I feel like I always have such good seasons and then at the end it's like it's someone else playing. I can explain it, and I know it's probably because I get nervous and stuff, but at the same time it's like I've been playing months for so long, so like, is that even an excuse? I'm just really tired of doing this and I am very disappointed. But special thanks to anyone who's been watching since the beginning. I'm really glad that you've been sticking around, and if you're new watching this, this is not usually what I do, but I am trying to make content that looks better. I wouldn't say this is like amazing, but it definitely looks better than most of my other content. But yeah, stick around, subscribe, like, and hopefully next time I make it far, I'll finish through and I'll actually get a win on a Wi-Fi league. And goodbye.